Good evening, and welcome to Footnotes in Folly. I am Professor Reginald St. John Pemberton, and tonight one of Shakespeare's most magnificent villains takes the stage, the deformed, brilliant, bottomlessly wicked Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who will flatter and lie and butcher his way to the throne of England, and confide every black step of it to us with a wink. The tragedy of King Richard III. We give you the whole of it, complete and unabridged, in clear modern English. The plain rendering and the asides are my own. This is part 1. The Wars of the Roses are won, the House of York is triumphant, and Richard's brother Edward sits as king. But Richard, hating a peace in which his crookback wins no love, resolves to be a villain and to clear the path to the crown. He sets a trap for his brother Clarence, woos the lady Anne even as she follows the house of a king Richard helped to kill, and listens, smiling, as the old cursing Queen Margaret prophesies ruin on them all. Let us begin.
Richard, Duke of Gloucester, enters alone. Now the winter of our unhappiness has been turned into glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds that hung over our family are buried deep in the ocean. Now our brows are crowned with wreaths of victory, our battered weapons are hung up as memorials, our harsh alarms have changed into cheerful gatherings, and our terrifying marches into pleasant dances. Grim-faced war has smoothed his wrinkled forehead, and now, instead of mounting armored horses to frighten the souls of fearful enemies, he dances lightly in a lady's chamber to the sensual pleasure of a lute. But I am not shaped for playful tricks, nor made to court an admiring mirror. I was roughly stamped, without the noble beauty that love requires for strutting before a playful, wandering nymph. I have been deprived of fair proportion, cheated of good looks by deceitful nature, deformed, unfinished, sent into this breathing world before my time, scarcely half made, and so lame and misshapen that dogs bark at me as I limp past them. So I, in this weak, piping time of peace, have no pleasure to pass the time, unless it is to watch my shadow in the sun and make comments on my own deformity. Therefore, since I cannot prove myself a lover and enjoy these fair, smooth-spoken days, I am determined to prove myself a villain, and to hate the idle pleasures of these times. I have laid plots, dangerous preparations, using drunken prophecies, slanders, and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hatred against each other. And if King Edward is as honest and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, then today Clarence should be shut away because of a prophecy that says that G will be the murderer of Edward's heirs. Sink down my thoughts deep into my soul. Here comes Clarence. Clarence enters under guard with Brakenbury. Brother, good day. What does this armed guard mean attending on your grace? His Majesty, out of concern for my personal safety, has appointed this escort to take me to the Tower. For what reason? Because my name is George. Alas, my lord, that fault is none of yours. For that he should imprison your godfathers. Oh, perhaps His Majesty intends that you should be baptized again in the Tower. But what is the matter, Clarence? May I know? Yes, Richard, when I know it myself, for I swear I do not know yet. But as far as I can learn, he has been listening to prophecies and dreams, and from the alphabet he plucks out the letter G, and says a wizard told him that by G his children would be disinherited. And because my name, George, begins with G, he concludes in his mind that I am the man. These things, as I understand it, and foolish ideas like these, have moved His Highness to imprison me now. Well, this is what happens when men are ruled by women. It is not the king who sends you to the Tower, it is my Lady Grey, his wife, Clarence. She is the one who pushes him to this extreme. Was it not she and that worthy gentleman, Anthony Woodville, her brother there, who made him send Lord Hastings to the Tower, from which he is released this very day? We are not safe, Clarence, we are not safe. By heaven, I think no man is secure except the Queen's relatives, and those walking messengers who trudge between the King and Mistress Shore. Did you not hear how humbly Lord Hastings begged her for his release? By humbly complaining to her divinity, my Lord Chamberlain won his liberty. I will tell you what, I think our best course, if we want to stay in favour with the King, is to become her servants and wear her livery. The jealous, worn-out widow, and Mistress Shore herself, since our brother made them gentlewomen, are powerful gossips in our monarchy. I beg both your graces to pardon me. His Majesty has strictly commanded that no man, of whatever rank, shall have private conversation with your brother. Just so, if it pleases your worship, Brakenbury, you may share in anything we say. We speak no treason, man. We say the king is wise and virtuous, and his noble queen is mature, beautiful, and not jealous. We say that Shore's wife has a pretty foot, a cherry lip, a lovely eye, and an exceedingly pleasing tongue, and that the Queen's relatives have been made gentlefolk. What do you say, sir? Can you deny any of this? My lord, I have nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with Mistress Shore? I tell you, fellow, anyone who does nothing with her, except one man, had better do it secretly and alone. What one, my lord? Her husband, fool. Would you betray me? I beg your grace to pardon me, and also to stop your conversation with the noble duke. We know your orders, Brakenbury, and we will obey. We are the Queen's outcasts and must obey. Brother, farewell. I will go to the king, and whatever you ask me to do, even if it is to call King Edward's widow's sister, I will do it to set you free. Meanwhile, this deep disgrace to our brotherhood wounds me more deeply than you can imagine. I know it pleases neither of us. Well, your imprisonment will not be long. I will free you, or else lie in your place. In the meantime, be patient. I must be. Farewell. Clarence Brakenbury and the guard exit. Go, walk the path from which you will never return. Simple, honest Clarence, I love you so much that I will soon send your soul to heaven, if heaven will accept the gift from our hands. But who comes here? The newly released Hastings? Lord Hastings enters. Good day to my gracious lord. And the same to my good Lord Chamberlain. You are very welcome back to the open air. How has your lordship endured imprisonment? With patience, noble lord, as prisoners must. But I shall live, my lord, to thank those who caused my imprisonment. No doubt, and Clarence shall do the same too, for those who were your enemies are his, and they have prevailed against him as much as against you. It is a great pity that eagles should be caged while kites and buzzards hunt freely. What news is abroad? No news abroad is as bad as this news at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians greatly fear for him. Now by St. John, that is bad news indeed. Oh, he has kept a harmful way of living for a long time, and has worn out his royal body too much. It is very painful to think about. Where is he in his bed? He is. Go ahead of me, and I will follow you. Hastings exits. He cannot live, I hope, and he must not die until George has been sent by fast horse up to heaven. I will go in and stir up his hatred against Clarence even more, with lies sharpened by weighty arguments. If I do not fail in my deep plan, Clarence will not have another day to live. Once that is done, may God take King Edward into his mercy and leave the world for me to bustle in. For then I will marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What does it matter that I killed her husband and her father? The quickest way to make amends to the girl is to become both her husband and her father, and I will do it, not so much for love as for another secret, hidden purpose that I must reach by marrying her. But I am running ahead of my horse to market. Clarence still breathes, Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then I must count my gains. Richard exits. The body of King Henry VI is carried in, guarded by halberds. Lady Anne follows as chief mourner, with Tressel, Berkeley, and other gentlemen. Set down your honourable burden, if honour can be hidden in a hearse, while I mourn for a little while over the too early fall of virtuous Lancaster. Poor cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, bloodless remnant of that royal blood, let me call on your ghost to hear the grief of poor Anne, wife to your Edward, your murdered son, stabbed by the same hand that made these wounds. Look into these openings that let out your life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these holes. Cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed be the blood that drew this blood from here. May worse fortune fall on that hated wretch, who makes us wretched by your death, than I could wish on snakes, spiders, toads, or any crawling poisonous thing that lives. If he ever has a child, let it be born too soon, monstrous, and brought into the light before its time. Let its ugly and unnatural face frighten its hopeful mother when she sees it, and let it inherit his misery. If he ever has a wife, let her be made more miserable by his death than I have been made by my young lord and by you. Now carry your holy burden toward Chertsey, taken from Paul's to be buried there. And whenever you are tired of this weight, rest, while I mourn King Henry's body. They lift the bier. Richard, Duke of Gloucester, enters. Stop, you who carry the body, and set it down. What black magician has summoned up this devil to stop works of duty and charity? Villains, set down the body, or by St. Paul, I will make a corpse of the man who disobeys me. My lord, stand back and let the coffin pass. Rude dog, you stand still when I command. Lift your halberd higher than my chest, or by St. Paul, I will strike you down under my foot and kick you, beggar, for your boldness. They set down the bier. What, do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I do not blame you, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot bear the devil. Away, dreadful servant of hell. You had power only over his mortal body. You cannot have his soul, so go. Sweet saint, for charity's sake, do not be so cursed. Foul devil, for God's sake, go and do not trouble us. You have turned the happy earth into your hell, filling it with cries of curses and deep screams. If you enjoy looking at your monstrous deeds, look at this example of your butchery. Oh, gentlemen, see, dead Henry's wounds open their clotted mouths and bleed again. Blush, blush, you lump of foul deformity, for it is your presence that draws this blood from cold, empty veins where no blood lives. Your deeds, inhuman and unnatural, provoke this most unnatural flood. O God, who made this blood, revenge his death. O earth, who drinks this blood, revenge his death. Either let heaven strike the murderer dead with lightning, or let earth gape wide and swallow him alive, as you swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm has butchered. Lady, you do not know the rules of charity, which returns good for evil and blessings for curses. Villain, you know neither the law of God nor the law of man. There is no beast so fierce that it has no touch of pity. But I have none, and therefore I am no beast. O wonderful when devils tell the truth. More wonderful when angels are so angry. Grant me, divine perfection of a woman, permission to clear myself in detail of these supposed crimes. Grant me, spreading infection of a man, permission to accuse your cursed self in detail of these known evils. Fairer than any tongue can name you, give me a little patient time to excuse myself. Fouler than any heart can imagine, you can make no acceptable excuse except to hang yourself. In that kind of despair I would be accusing myself. And by despairing, you will be excused, because you would take proper vengeance on yourself, who committed unworthy slaughter on others. What if I say I did not kill them? Then say they were not killed. But dead they are, and devilish slave, they were killed by you. I did not kill your husband. Then he is alive. No, he is dead, and killed by Edward's hand. You lie in your foul throat. Queen Margaret saw your murderous sword smoking with his blood, the same sword you once turned against her breast, until your brother's beak point aside. I was provoked by her slanderous tongue, which placed their guilt on my innocent shoulders. You were provoked by your bloody mind, which never dreams of anything but slaughter. Did you not kill this king? I admit it. You admit it, hedgehog? Then may God grant me this too. May you be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous. All the better for the King of Heaven who has him now. He is in heaven where you will never come. Let him thank me for helping send him there, for he was better suited to that place than to earth. And you are suited for no place but hell. Yes, one place besides, if you will hear me name it. Some dungeon. Your bedchamber. May bad rest fall on the chamber where you lie. It will, madame, until I lie with you. I hope so. I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, let us leave this sharp battle of wits and move into a calmer method. Is the cause of the untimely deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, not as blameworthy as the executioner? You were the cause, and the most cursed result. Your beauty was the cause of that result. Your beauty, which haunted me in my sleep, and drove me to take on the death of all the world, if only I might live 1 hour in your sweet embrace. If I believed that, I tell you, murderer, these nails would tear that beauty from my cheeks. These eyes could not endure the ruin of that beauty. You would not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I am cheered by it. It is my day, my life. May black night cover your day, and death cover your life. Do not curse yourself, fair creature, you are both. I wish I were, so I could be revenged on you. It is a most unnatural quarrel to take revenge on the man who loves you. It is a just and reasonable quarrel to take revenge on the man who killed my husband. The man who deprived you, lady, of your husband did it to help you to a better husband. No better man breathes on the earth. There is one living who loves you better than he could. Name him. Plantagenet. Why, that was he. The very same name, but a man of better nature. Where is he? Here. She spits at him. Why do you spit at me? I wish it were deadly poison for your sake. Poison never came from so sweet a place. Poison never hung on a fouler toad. Get out of my sight. You infect my eyes. Your eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine. I wish they were basilisks, to strike you dead. I wish they were, so I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of yours have drawn salt tears from mine and shamed their appearance with a flood of childish drops. These eyes never shed a remorseful tear, not even when my father York and Edward wept to hear the pitiful cry Rutland made when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at him. Not even when your warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times stopped to sob and weep, until all who stood by had wet cheeks like trees splashed with rain. In that sad time, my manly eyes scorned one humble tear. And what those sorrows could not draw out, your beauty has drawn out, making them blind with weeping. I never begged friend or enemy for anything. My tongue could never learn smooth, sweet words. But now that your beauty is set as my reward, my proud heart begs and urges my tongue to speak. She looks at him scornfully. Do not teach your lips such scorn. They were made for kissing, lady, not for contempt like this. If your vengeful heart cannot forgive me, look, I give you this sharp, pointed sword. If you choose to bury it in this loyal breast and release the soul that adores you, I bare my chest to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg for death here on my knees. He kneels and opens his breast to her. She aims his sword at him. No, do not hesitate, for I did kill King Henry. But it was your beauty that drove me to it. No, finish it now. It was I who stabbed young Edward. But it was your heavenly face that set me on. She lets the sword fall. Take up the sword again, or take me up from here. Get up, you deceiver. Though I wish you dead, I will not be your executioner. Then tell me to kill myself, and I will do it. I already have. You said that in anger. Say it again, and at that word, this hand, which for love of you killed the one you loved, shall for love of you kill a love far truer than his. You will be responsible for both their deaths. I wish I knew your heart. It is shown in my words. I fear both heart and words are false. Then no man was ever true. Well, well, put away your sword. Then say I am forgiven. You will know that later. But may I live in hope? All men, I hope, live that way. Please wear this ring. To take is not to give. He puts the ring on her hand. See how my ring circles your finger. In just that way, your breast encloses my poor heart. Wear them both, for both are yours. And if your poor devoted servant may beg just one favor from your gracious hand, you will make his happiness secure forever. What is it? That you would please leave these sad duties to the man who has the most cause to mourn, and go at once to Crosby Place. After I have solemnly buried this noble king at Chertsey Monastery, and watered his grave with my repentant tears, I will come to you with all proper speed and duty. For several reasons I cannot explain, I beg you to grant me this favor. With all my heart, and it gives me great joy too to see you have become so repentant. Tressel and Berkeley, come with me. Bid me farewell. That is more than you deserve. But since you are teaching me how to flatter you, imagine, I have already said farewell. Lady Anne, Tressel, and Berkeley exit. Sirs, pick up the corpse. Toward Chertsey, noble lord? No, to Whitefriars. Wait for me there. The halberds and gentlemen exit with the corpse. Was any woman ever wooed in such a mood? Was any woman ever won in such a mood? I will have her, but I will not keep her long. What? I, who killed her husband and his father, have taken her at the height of her hatred, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding proof of her hatred lying beside us with God, her conscience, and all these obstacles against me, and with no friends at all to support my suit except the plain devil in a lying face. And yet I won her against all the world. Ha! Has she already forgotten that brave Prince Edward, her lord, whom I stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury some 3 months ago? A sweeter and lovelier gentleman, formed by nature with extravagant care, young, brave, wise, and no doubt truly royal, the wide world cannot produce again. And will she still lower her eyes to me, who cut down the golden prime of this sweet prince and made her widow to a sorrowful bed? To me, whose whole self does not equal half of Edward? To me, who limp and am so misshapen? I would wager my dukedom against a beggar's coin that I have been mistaken about myself all this time. Upon my life she sees, though I cannot, that I am a wonderfully handsome man. I will spend money on a looking-glass, and hire a score or two of tailors to study fashions that will adorn my body. Since I have crept into favor with myself, I will maintain that favor at a little cost. But first I will have that fellow put into his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, until I have bought a mirror, so I may see my shadow as I pass. He exits. Queen Elizabeth enters with the Marquess of Dorset, Lord Rivers, and Lord Grey. Be patient, madam. There is no doubt that His Majesty will soon return to his usual health. Your taking it so badly only makes him worse. So, for God's sake, keep up your spirits, and cheer his grace with bright and cheerful eyes. If he were dead, what would become of me? No other harm would come to you except the loss of such a lord. The loss of such a lord contains every harm. Heaven has blessed you with a noble son to comfort you when he is gone. Ah, he is young, and while he is under age he will be placed in the care of Richard Gloucester, a man who loves neither me nor any of you. Has it been settled that he shall be protector? It is decided, though not yet formally settled, but that is how it must be if the king should die. Buckingham and Stanley, Earl of Derby, enter. Here come the lords of Buckingham and Derby. Good day to your royal grace. May God make your majesty as joyful as you have ever been. The Countess Richmond, good my lord of Derby, will hardly say amen to that good prayer of yours. Yet Derby, although she is your wife and does not love me, be assured, good lord, that I do not hate you for her proud arrogance. I beg you either not to believe the spiteful slanders of her false accusers, or, if she is accused on a true report, to bear with her weakness, which I think comes from stubborn sickness, and not from settled malice. Did you see the king today, my lord of Derby? The Duke of Buckingham, and I have just come from visiting his majesty. What hope is there that he will recover, my lords? Good hope, madam. His grace speaks cheerfully. God grant him health. Did you speak with him? Yes, madam. He wishes to make peace between the Duke of Gloucester and your brothers, and between them and my Lord Chamberlain, and he has sent to summon them to his royal presence. I wish all were well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness has reached its highest point. Richard, Duke of Gloucester, and Hastings enter. They wrong me, and I will not endure it. Who is complaining to the king that I, forsooth, am harsh and do not love them? By holy Paul, they love his grace very little if they fill his ears with such divisive rumors. Because I cannot flatter, put on a pretty face, smile into men's faces, smooth things over, deceive and trick, but with French nods and monkey, like courtesy, I must be counted a bitter enemy. Can a plain man not live and mean no harm without having his simple honesty abused by smooth, sly, insinuating fellows? To whom in this company is your grace speaking? To you who have neither honesty nor grace. When have I injured you? When have I wronged you? Or you? Or any one of your faction? A plague on you all! His royal grace, whom God preserve better than you would wish, can hardly have one quiet breath before you trouble him with wicked complaints. Brother of Gloucester, you mistake the matter. The king, acting from his own royal judgment, and not urged on by any petitioner, seems to notice that inner hatred which shows itself outwardly against my children, my brothers, and myself. That is why he has sent for you, so he may learn the cause of your ill will and remove it. I cannot tell. The world has grown so bad that wrens take prey where eagles dare not perch. Since every common fellow became a gentleman, many gentle people have been made into common fellows. Come, we know what you mean, Brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement and my friend's advancement. God grant that we may never have need of you. Meanwhile, God grants that we have need of you. Our brother is imprisoned by your means, I am disgraced, and the nobility is held in contempt, while great promotions are given every day to ennoble those who, scarcely 2 days ago, were hardly worth a noble. By him who raised me from the contented fortune I once enjoyed to this anxious height, I never stirred his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been an earnest advocate pleading for him. My lord, you shamefully injure me by falsely drawing me into these vile suspicions. You may deny that you were the cause of my Lord Hastings' late imprisonment. She may, my lord, for? She may, Lord Rivers, why, who does not know that? She may do more than deny that, sir. She may help you to many fine promotions, then deny that her hand helped you, and credit those honors to your high merit. What can she not do? She may, yes, indeed, she may. What indeed may she? What may she? Marry with a king, a bachelor, and a handsome young man, too. I suppose your grandmother made a worse match. My Lord of Gloucester, I have endured your blunt accusations and bitter mockery too long. By heaven, I will tell his majesty of these gross insults that I have so often suffered. I would rather be a country servant girl than a great queen on this condition, to be baited, scorned, and raged at like this. Old Queen Margaret enters behind them. I take little joy in being England's queen. Queen Margaret speaks aside. And may that little joy be made less, God, I beg him. Your honor, rank, and throne belong to me. What, do you threaten me with telling the king? Tell him, and do not hold back. Whatever I have said, I will stand by it in the king's presence. I am willing to risk being sent to the Tower. It is time to speak. My sufferings are quite forgotten. Queen Margaret speaks aside. Away, devil! I remember them too well. You killed my husband Henry in the Tower, and Edward, my poor son, at Tewkesbury. Before you were queen, yes, or your husband king, I was a packhorse in his great affairs, rooting out his proud enemies and generously rewarding his friends. To make his blood royal, I spilled my own. Queen Margaret speaks aside. Yes, and blood much better than his or yours. During all that time, you and your husband Grey were partisans for the house of Lancaster. And Rivers, so were you. Was not your husband killed in Margaret's battle at St. Albans? Let me remind you, if you forget, what you have been before now and what you are, and also what I have been and what I am. Queen Margaret speaks aside. A murderous villain, and that is what you still are. Poor Clarence abandoned his father Warwick, yes, and broke his oath. May Jesu pardon that. Queen Margaret speaks aside. May God avenge it. To fight on Edward's side for the crown, and for his reward, poor lord, he is shut up. I wish to God my heart were flint, like Edward's, or that Edward's were soft and pitiful like mine. I am too foolishly tender-hearted for this world. Queen Margaret speaks aside. Hurry to hell for shame and leave this world, you evil spirit. There is your kingdom. My Lord of Gloucester, in those troubled days which you bring up to prove us enemies, we followed our lord, our sovereign king. We would do the same for you if you were our king. If I were, I would rather be a peddler. Keep that thought far from my heart. My lord, as little joy as you suppose you would have if you were this country's king, just as little joy may you suppose I have in being its queen. Queen Margaret speaks aside. The queen enjoys as little joy as that, for I am she, and altogether joyless. I can no longer keep patient. Queen Margaret comes forward. Hear me, you quarreling pirates, fighting over the share of what you stole from me. Which of you does not tremble when looking at me? If you do not bow to me as subjects because I am queen, then quake like rebels because you deposed me. Ah, courteous villain, do not turn away. Foul-wrinkled witch, what are you doing in my sight? Only repeating what you have ruined. I will do that before I let you go. Were you not banished on pain of death? I was, but I find more pain in banishment than death can give me by staying here. You owe me a husband and a son, and you owe me a kingdom. All of you owe me allegiance. This sorrow that I bear is rightly yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine. The curse my noble father put on you, when you crowned his warrior's head with paper, mocked him until tears ran from his eyes, and then, to dry them, gave the Duke a cloth soaked in innocent Rutland's blood. Those curses, spoken against you from the bitterness of his soul, have all fallen on you now. God, not we, has punished your bloody deed. God is just, and avenges the innocent. Oh, it was the foulest deed, to murder the child, and the most merciless act ever heard of. Even tyrants wept when the story was told. Every man foretold that revenge would come for it. Northumberland, who was there, wept to see it. What were you all snarling at one another before I came, ready to seize each other by the throat, and now do you turn all your hatred on me? Did York's dreadful curse have so much power in heaven that Henry's death, my lovely Edward's death, the loss of their kingdom, and my sorrowful banishment should all be only payment for that spiteful boy? Can curses pierce the clouds and enter heaven? Then make way, dull clouds, for my swift curses. Though not by war, may your king die by excess, as ours died by murder, so that he could become king. May Edward your son, now Prince of Wales, die in his youth by the same untimely violence, in payment for Edward our son, who was Prince of Wales. You a queen in payment for me who was a queen, may you outlive your glory, as I have lived to see my misery. Long may you live to mourn your children's deaths, and see another woman, as I see you now, dressed in your rights, as you are seated in mine. May your happy days die long before you do, and after many draw, now hours of grief, may you die neither mother, wife, nor England's queen. Rivers and Dorset, you stood by, and so did you, Lord Hastings, when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. I pray God that none of you may live out your natural span, but be cut off by some unexpected accident. End your spell, you hateful withered hag. And leave you out? Stay, dog, for you shall hear me. If heaven has any terrible plague stored up worse than anything I can wish on you, let them keep it until your sins are fully ripe, and then hurl their anger down on you, you troubler of the poor world's peace. May the worm of conscience always gnaw your soul. While you live, may you suspect your friends as traitors, and take deep traitors for your dearest friends. May no sleep close that deadly eye of yours, unless some tormenting dream frightens you with a hell full of hideous devils. You marked by evil from birth, you unfinished, rooting hog, you who were sealed at birth as nature's slave and hell's son, you disgrace of your burdened mother's womb, you hated issue of your father's body, you scrap of honor you detested. Margaret. Richard. What? I did not call you. Then I beg your pardon, for I thought you had called me all those bitter names. Why, so I did, but I expected no answer. Oh, let me finish my curse. I have finished it for you. It ends with Margaret. So you have breathed your curse against yourself. Poor painted queen, empty display of my fortune, why do you sprinkle sugar on that bottled spider, whose deadly web traps you all around? Fool, fool, you sharpen a knife to kill yourself. The day will come when you will wish for me to help you curse this poisonous bunch-backed toad. False prophesying woman, end your frantic curse, before you test our patience to your own harm. Shame on you, you have all tested mine. If you were treated as you deserve, you would be taught your duty. To serve me properly, you should all do me duty. Teach me to be your queen, and yourselves to be my subjects. Oh, serve me well, and teach yourselves that duty. Do not argue with her, she is mad. Peace, Master Marquess, you are insolent. Your brand, new stamp of honor is hardly accepted yet. Oh, if your young nobility could understand what it is to lose the honor and be miserable. Those who stand high have many winds to shake them, and if they fall, they smash themselves to pieces. Good advice, indeed. Learn it, Marquess. It concerns you, my lord, as much as me. Yes, and much more, but I was born so high. Our nest is built in the top of the cedar, plays with the wind, and scorns the sun, and turns the sun to shade, alas, alas. My son is witness, now in the shade of death, whose bright, outshining beams your cloudy anger wrapped in eternal darkness. Your nest is built in the place of ours. O God, who sees it, do not allow it. As it was won with blood, let it be lost by blood. Peace, peace, for shame, if not for charity. Do not urge charity or shame on me. You have dealt with me without charity, and shamefully butchered my hopes. My charity is outrage, my life is shame, and in that shame my sorrow's rage still lives. Enough, enough. O princely Buckingham, I will kiss your hand as a sign of alliance and friendship with you. May good fortune fall on you and your noble house. Your clothes are not spotted with our blood, and you are not within the reach of my curse. Nor is anyone here, for curses never pass beyond the lips of those who breathe them into the air. I will not believe anything but that they climb to the sky, and there wait God's gentle sleeping peace. O Buckingham, beware of that dog over there. Watch him. When he fawns, he bites, and when he bites, his venomous tooth will fester to the death. Have nothing to do with him. Beware of him. Sin, death, and hell have set their marks on him, and all their servants attend him. What does she say, my lord of Buckingham? Nothing I care about, my gracious lord. What do you scorn me for my kind counsel, and flatter the devil I warn you against? Oh, remember this another day, when he splits your very heart with sorrow, and say that poor Margaret was a prophetess. May each of you live subject to his hate, and he to yours, and all of you to God's. Queen Margaret exits. My hair stands on end to hear her curses. And so does mine. I wonder why she is at liberty. I cannot blame her. By God's holy mother, she has suffered too much wrong, and I repent the part I had in what was done to her. I never did her any wrong as far as I know. Yet you all have the advantage gained from her wrongs. I was too eager to do someone good, someone who is too cold in remembering it now. As for Clarence, he is well repaid. He is penned up and fattened for his trouble. God pardon those who caused it. A virtuous and Christian conclusion, to pray for those who have harmed us. That is what I always do when I think clearly. For if I had cursed just now, I would have cursed myself. Catesby enters. Madam, his Majesty calls for you, and for your grace, and for you, my gracious lords. Catesby, I am coming. Lords, will you go with me? We attend your grace. All exit except Richard. I do the wrong, then I am the first to start the quarrel. The secret mischiefs I set in motion, I lay as heavy charges against others. Clarence, whom I myself have cast into darkness, I mourn over to many foolish dupes, especially Derby, Hastings, and Buckingham. I tell them it is the Queen and her allies who stir the King against the Duke my brother. Now they believe it, and they also urge me to take revenge on Rivers, Dorset, and Grey. But then I sigh and quote a bit of Scripture, telling them that God commands us to return good for evil. In this way I dress my naked villainy in odd old scraps stolen from Holy Writ, and look like a saint when I am most playing the devil. 2 murderers enter. But quiet, here come my executioners. Well now, my hearty, strong, determined mates, are you going now to carry out this business? "We are, my lord, and have come to get the warrant, so that we may be admitted to where he is." "Well remembered, I have it here with me." Richard gives the warrant. "When you are finished, go to Crosby Place. But sirs, be quick in carrying it out, and be hard-hearted. Do not listen to him plead, because Clarence speaks well and may move your hearts to pity if you pay attention to him. Come, come, my lord, we will not stand around talking. Talkers are not good workers. Be sure of this, we are going to use our hands, not our tongues. Your eyes drop millstones when fools' eyes drop tears. I like you, lads. Go straight to your business. Go, get it done. We will, my noble lord." They leave. Clarence enters with the keeper. "Why does your grace look so weighed down today?" "Oh, I have had a miserable night, so full of frightening dreams and horrible sights that, as I am a faithful Christian man, I would not spend another night like it even to buy a whole world of happy days. The time was so full of dreadful terror." "What was your dream, my lord? Please tell me." "I thought I had escaped from the Tower and had gone aboard a ship to cross to Burgundy. My brother Gloucester was with me, and from my cabin he persuaded me to walk out on the hatches. From there we looked back toward England and recalled 1,000 sorrowful times that had happened to us during the wars of York and Lancaster. As we walked along on the unsteady footing of the hatches, I thought Gloucester stumbled, and as he fell, he struck me, though I was trying to hold him up, and knocked me overboard into the rolling waves of the sea. O Lord, I thought how painful it was to drown, what dreadful noise the water made in my ears, what visions of ugly death were before my eyes. I thought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 1,000 men being gnawed by fish, wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearls, priceless stones, and jewels beyond value, all scattered across the bottom of the sea. Some lay in dead men's skulls, and in the hollow places where eyes had once lived, shining gems had crept in, as if mocking eyes, courting the slimy floor of the deep, and laughing at the dead bones that lay scattered nearby. Did you have that much leisure while you were dying to look at these secrets of the deep? I thought I did, and often I struggled to give up my spirit, but the jealous flood kept stopping my soul and would not let it out to find the empty, vast, wandering air. Instead it smothered it inside my gasping body, which almost burst trying to heave it into the sea. Did you not wake from this painful agony?" No. My dream went on after life was over. Then the storm of my soul began. I thought I crossed the melancholy flood with that grim ferryman the poets write about, into the kingdom of everlasting night. The first one there to greet my strange soul was my great father-in-law, renowned Warwick, who spoke aloud. What punishment for perjury can this dark kingdom provide for false Clarence? Then he vanished. After that there wandered by a figure like an angel, with bright hair matted in blood, and he cried out, "Clarence has come, false, fickle, perjured Clarence, who stabbed me on the field at Tewkesbury. Seize him, Furies! Take him to torment." At that I thought a legion of foul fiends surrounded me and howled in my ears with such hideous cries that the very noise made me wake trembling, and for a while afterward I could not believe I was anywhere but in hell, so terrible an impression had my dream made on me. No wonder, my lord, that it frightened you. I am afraid myself just hearing you tell it. Ah, keeper, I have done these things that now testify against my soul, all for Edward's sake, and see how he repays me. O God, if my deep prayers cannot appease you, and you are determined to avenge my wrongdoings, then carry out your anger on me alone. Oh, spare my innocent wife and my poor children. Keeper, please sit by me a while. My soul is heavy, and I would like to sleep. I will, my lord. God give your grace good rest. Clarence settles himself on a chair. Rakenbury the lieutenant enters. Sorrow breaks into proper times and resting hours. It turns night into morning and noon into night. Princes have only their titles for their glory, and outward honor covering inward trouble, and because of imagined fears they often feel a whole world of restless cares. So between their titles and a lowly name there is no difference except outward fame. The two murderers enter. "Ho, who is here?" "What do you want, fellow?" "And how did you come here?" "I want to speak with Clarence, and I came here on my legs." "What's so brief?" "That is better, sir, than being tedious. Let him see our commission and say no more." Rakenbury reads the commission. "I am commanded here to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence into your hands. I will not argue over what is meant by this, because I want to be guiltless of the meaning. There lies the Duke asleep, and there are the keys. I will go to the king and tell him that I have handed over my charge to you." "You may, sir." "That is a wise course. Farewell." Rakenbury and the keeper leave. "Well, shall I stab him while he sleeps?" "No. When he wakes, he will say it was done cowardly." "Why, he will never wake until the great judgment day. Then he will say we stabbed him sleeping." Your pressing the word judgment has stirred a kind of remorse in me. "What, are you afraid?" "Not afraid to kill him, since we have a warrant, but afraid to be damned for killing him, and no warrant can protect me from that." "I thought you were resolved." "So I am, resolved to let him live. I will go back to the Duke of Gloucester and tell him so." "No, please stay a little. I hope this passionate mood will change. It usually lasts only as long as it takes a man to count to 20. How do you feel now?" "Faith, there are still some certain dregs of conscience left in me. Remember our reward once the deed is done." "Zounds, he dies." "I had forgotten the reward. Where is your conscience now?" "Oh, in the Duke of Gloucester's purse." So when he opens his purse to give us our reward, your conscience flies out. No matter. Let it go. Few or none will take it in. What if it comes back to you? I will have nothing to do with it. It makes a man a coward. A man cannot steal without it accusing him. He cannot swear without it checking him. He cannot lie with his neighbor's wife without it exposing him. It is a blushing, shamefaced spirit that rebels inside a man's chest. It fills a man with obstacles. It once made me return a purse of gold I happened to find. It ruins any man who keeps it. It has been driven out of towns and cities as a dangerous thing, and every man who means to live well tries to trust himself and live without it. Zounds, it is right now at my elbow persuading me not to kill the Duke. Put the devil in your mind instead, and do not believe conscience. It only tries to slip in with you to make you sigh. I am strongly built. It cannot overcome me. Spoken like a brave man who cares for his reputation. Come, shall we get to work? Hit him on the head with the hilt of your sword, and then throw him into the Malmsey barrel in the next room. Excellent plan. Make a wine, soaked morsel of him. Quiet, he wakes. Strike. No, we will reason with him. Where are you, keeper? Give me a cup of wine. You shall have wine enough, my lord, soon. In God's name, what are you? A man as you are, but not royal as I am, nor loyal as we are. Your voice is thunder, but your looks are humble. My voice is now the king's, my looks are my own. How darkly and how deadly you speak. Your eyes threaten me. Why do you look pale? Who sent you here? Why have you come? To murder me? Yes, yes. You barely have the hearts to tell me so, and therefore cannot have the hearts to do it. My friends, how have I offended you? You have not offended us, but you have offended the king. I will be reconciled to him again. Never, my lord. Therefore prepare to die. Have you been brought out from among all the men in the world to kill an innocent man? What is my crime? Where is the evidence that accuses me? What lawful jury has delivered its verdict to a stern judge? Who has pronounced the bitter sentence of poor Clarence's death? Before I have been convicted by proper law, it is completely unlawful to threaten me with death. I command you, as you hope for redemption, by Christ's dear blood shed for our terrible sins, leave this place and lay no hands on me. The deed you mean to do is damnable. What we are going to do, we do by command. And the man who commanded it is our king. Misguided servants. The great King of Kings has commanded in the table of his law, you shall not murder. Will you then kick aside his command and carry out a man's? Take care, for he holds vengeance in his hand, ready to throw it down on the heads of those who break his law. And that same vengeance he throws on you, for false oath, breaking, and for murder too. You took the sacrament and swore to fight for the cause of the house of Lancaster. And like a traitor to the name of God, you broke that vow, and with your treacherous sword ripped open the body of your sovereign son, the very man you had sworn to cherish and defend. How can you press God's dreadful law on us, when you have broken it in so grave a way? Alas, for whose sake did I do that evil deed? For Edward, for my brother, for his sake. He does not send you to murder me for that, because in that sin he is as deeply involved as I am. If God means to take vengeance for the deed, then know this, he does it openly. Do not take the quarrel out of his powerful arm. He has no need of secret or lawless methods to cut off those who have offended him. Who made you then a bloody agent when brave, noble young Plantagenet, that princely beginner in war, was struck dead by you? My brother's love, the devil, and my own rage. Your brother's love, our duty, and your crimes have brought us here now to slaughter you. If you love my brother, do not hate me. I am his brother, and I love him well. If you have been hired for a reward, go back again, and I will send you to my brother Gloucester. He will reward you better for sparing my life than Edward will for bringing news of my death. You are mistaken. Your brother Gloucester hates you. Oh no, he loves me, and he values me dearly. Go to him from me. Yes, so we will. Tell him that when our princely father York blessed his 3 sons with his victorious arm, and charged us from his very soul to love one another, he little imagined this broken brotherhood. Bid Gloucester think of that, and he will weep. Yes, millstones will be his tears, as he taught us to weep. Oh, do not slander him, for he is kind. Right, as kind as snow at harvest. Come, you are deceiving yourself. It is he who sends us here to destroy you. It cannot be. He cried over my misfortune, hugged me in his arms, and swore with sobs that he would work for my release. Why, that is exactly what he does, when he releases you from this earth's bondage into the joys of heaven. Make your peace with God, for you must die, my lord. Do you have such holy feeling in your souls, that you advise me to make my peace with God, and yet are you so blind to your own souls, that you will make war against God by murdering me? Oh, sirs, consider this. Those who said you want to do this deed will hate you for the deed afterward. What shall we do? Soften your hearts and save your souls. Soften? No, that is cowardly and womanish. Not to soften is beastly, savage, devilish. Which one of you, if you were a prince's son, shut away from freedom as I am now, and 2 murderers like yourselves came to you, would not plead for life? Yes, you would beg if you were in my distress. My friend, I see some pity in your face. Oh, if your eye is not lying to me, come over to my side and plead for me. What beggar would not pity a begging prince? Look behind you, my lord. Take that and that. If all this will not finish it, I will drown you in the Malmsey barrel inside. He stabs Clarence, then exits with the body. A bloody deed and desperately carried out. How gladly, like Pilate, I would wash my hands of this most grievous murder. First murderer enters. What now? What do you mean by not helping me? By heaven, the Duke shall know how slow and careless you have been. I wish he knew that I had saved his brother. Take the payment yourself, and tell him what I say, because I repent that the Duke has been killed. The second murderer exits. I do not repent. Go, coward that you are. Well, I will go hide the body in some hole until the Duke gives orders for his burial. And when I have my reward, I will be gone, because this will come out, and then I must not stay. He exits.
And there we will pause. The first blood is shed. Clarence, lulled by his brother's false love and dreaming of drowning in a sea of jewels, has been stabbed and drowned in a butt of wine by the very murderous Richard hired, while Richard plays the grieving brother. The court is a nest of curses, the king is sick and dying, and every prophecy old Margaret spat at them is beginning, one by one, to come true. Next time, in part 2, a king's death, 2 young princes sent to the Tower, and a council that ends with a head on the block. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.